Hi, this is Naomi with Sword and Steel, and today we have this Fanatic Wargamers paint set to look through and to add my thoughts to, as well as I'm going to show you, if in case you haven't assembled models before, I'm going to show you how I assemble the dragon miniature in this case. And in a later video, make certain you subscribe to the channel if you want to see it. I'm going to be painting this dragon with the paints in this set plus primer. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It definitely feels like these paints are like everywhere in this box. I might be wrong, but it feels like it. I'm not worried about it though, because, well, shaking your paints is a good thing. Am I right? Are the paints all over the place? Yes, they are. I just for a moment, it was like, oh no, my sprues. It's all right, they're fine. This plastic that Archon Studio makes is quite tough, actually, for plastic. You will use plastic cement to assemble that if you want to see me do that. That'll be at the end of the video, so if you don't want to see it, if you are an assembling pro, you don't need to watch that. But not only am I going to be assembling it I'm going to show you how to assemble it simply, but I'm also going to show you how to use plastic glue to cement those parts together so they look like they are one cohesive dragon instead of parts of a dragon put together. They also have a painting guide, so if you're unfamiliar with painting, you should absolutely check that out. They've got a lot of nice tips in there and how to use these paints, where to use these paints, because there's washes, there's metallics. There's the stabilizer for thinning down your paints, much better than just using plain water. You will see that when you actually go ahead and use it. And then it shows all of has a little thing for all of the War Paints Fanatic range, as well as the various painting sets. I like the Fanatic Mega paint set because it comes with its own paint stand where you can organize all of your paints. Very handy. Doesn't actually take up that much space.
For those unfamiliar with the War Paints Fanatic range in general, these are opaque acrylic paints meant for classic style miniature painting. And by that, I mean a base color, a highlight, a spot highlight with opaque paints. Out of the pot, they are the ideal consistency for dry brushing, and with a little thinning, either with water or even better, the stabilizers that comes in this kit. And I would go a 4:1 paint to stabilizer ratio. That's for every 4 drops of paint on your palette, you mix in 1 drop of the stabilizer. And that consistency will allow for easy base coloring, highlighting, edge highlighting. Use a little more stabilizer and you could do wet blending or glazing, or add in the paint retarder that comes in this set to your paints. And I would use that very sparingly, mostly because I'm an impatient painter and I like my paint to dry in seconds so I can go on to the next step. But the retarder does come in handy for wet blending effects, and if you want to get tiny details on your miniature. Thinning with the stabilizer will help your paint stay fresh on your brush, but if you do need to go a step further, you just add the retarder into your brush with the paint you want to use, and you can get those eyeballs and teeth and fingernails and bolts and nuts or whichever without having the frustrating experience of the paint drying out in your brush before you have it where you want it to go. Because of the variety of what you see on your screen and the consistency across the line of this great quality line of paints, and the brush and the dragon as extras, I do particularly like this set. If I were to have anything bad to say about it, really, it's just that it doesn't exactly have much of a savings for something over $400. But hey, it absolutely is an instant collection. Do like the Mega paint set, but this one you should have no need to go anywhere else for quite some time. And when you want to get a darker shade or a lighter shade of something in this kit, you can check out the little booklet that comes with it with all the colors of the Fanatic range and find the name quickly of the color you are looking for. Even the Fanatic Paints rack that you'll find in retail stores makes it easy to find the color you want. So I have to say, I'm really pleased with what the Army Painter has done. The Army Painter also gives you a high quality brush in the set. If you treat your brushes well, you'll find this one to be hardy and comes to a fine point. I would grab a larger brush for covering larger surface areas, but this one should take care of smaller surface areas and fine details on your miniature just fine. This kit also has a small variety of metallic paints, the black capped paints, which are opaque acrylics that look like metal when applied. And these metal colors can be brought out to even greater glory if you use the red capped paints over them. The red capped paints are a variety of washes, which are transparent paints that add extra definition to either your metallic paints or the white capped paints by giving them a shadow and a slight change of hue depending on the one you choose. You have got to try them out if you haven't used them already, and you'll see. If you wanted me to show off any of the washes in future videos, by all means, let me know. I do intend on creating a full library of all paints out there in the miniature community. And if you want to help that, consider becoming a patron. All right, as you can see, I have 3 tools that I use for every plastic model assembly, including this dragon. The first tool is sprue cutters. Don't use an X-Acto knife for this. Sprue cutters are so much better and safer. And what you're looking for in a sprue cutter is a very skinny top scissor section, so you can get as close to the piece you want to cut off as possible and therefore not leave too much sprue on your model pieces that you're going to have to clean up later. I like to add the pieces I'm cutting off directly on the matching image in the assembly guide. I do not cut every piece off the sprue at the one time because it is much easier to find the piece you're looking for from the sprue directly, particularly kits that have far more pieces than this particular one. Once the pieces are cut from the sprue, I clean them up with my hobby knife, which I use as both a knife and a mold line remover, meaning I cut down the extra plastic until I have nearly taken all extra plastic away before flipping the knife over to its unsharpened side and shave away the last little bit of excess. I find that doing so keeps your sharp side from gouging too much plastic out of your miniature. Do be careful with your knife though. Don't use a dull knife. Replacement blades for these kinds of knives are inexpensive, so there is no excuse. You can tell your fingers and your model for why you don't get a fresh blade when you need one. For anyone who's done any kind of cooking with vegetables that you had to cut, you know that a sharp knife is actually safer, far safer than the dull knife. Same principle here. Once the pieces are cleaned, it is time to follow the assembly guide and start gluing those pieces together. I do suggest try fitting, as in testing how the pieces go together before you actually put the glue on, so you know where the glue will go and where exactly the 2 pieces are supposed to align. Archon Studio does great miniatures, so the pieces should align just so. I like to put less of the plastic glue on initially so it doesn't spill across the mini and make it impossible to touch it without leaving fingerprints. The plastic cement will dry within a few seconds, so if you do get a little bit too much plastic glue where you don't want it to be, just allow it to dry. This particular plastic glue, which is very thin, will dry as if it was never there, as long as you don't put too much on. Like I said, I put very little on initially. You can always go back and apply more, which is what I do. I'll add a second run of the plastic glue to all of the joints that I've just made to make the fit more secure and more clean. You can add plastic glue in layers should you wish to, and sometimes that really is for the best. And I repeat this method until the dragon is complete, ready to be primed and painted. If you want me to go further in how to assemble this in a future video, just let me know. I've got all the footage. I could do it if you want me to, but you have to let me know. Also, this dragon could just have a tongue in his open mouth, Or he could be breathing fire, and you can click the fire into place. So I definitely would not glue the fire in until you have both it and the dragon painted. That's the same with the base the dragon is standing on. So this one was created with sub-assembly painting in mind.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make certain to like, subscribe to the channel if you want to see what's coming out. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye!
Hi, if you're still here, I want you to give me a challenge. And a like on the video, of course. I'm going to paint this dragon solely using these paints. But what kind of creature would you like to see painted with these? I have a paint series that I could add your request into if you let me know. Patrons, YouTube members, and PayPal tippers, of course, get first dibs. And of course, through our Patreon Discord, you can ask away for painting ideas and tutorials and share your own projects. Don't be shy. Okay, bye.